Let's see, I've got under 2 hours to go to record and edit something. I have a presentation that I need to do for a job interview that I'm having on Tuesday, but I can't have too much bother because I have a driving test tomorrow and I need to be chilled out for that, and I've also got the stream tonight. And have you ever noticed that the older you get, the less time you seem to have? Yeah, funny how that works. Run the titles.
Run the titles.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Radio Redux, episode 261 with me, Kevin. Yes, it's me. Honestly, I swear. There is much going on in the world. Most of it to do, gaming-wise anyway, most of it to do with Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, which is out and everyone's enjoying it for the most part. And you'll be pleased to know, surprised perhaps even to know, that I really, really like the game. For the most part. We've had discussions about this over the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to get into some bits and bobs. But before we do, I have a PSA type announcement for you. Not to do with Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, but in general, to do with this show and others that you may be subscribed to. In fact, I hope you're subscribed to on various different channels and media. So, we are having something of a mystery crisis at the minute at LMC, and that is entirely due to something to do with the website. If you go on to the website, you will notice that we were uploading the shows. The new shows have been going up since 258 it would have been. So there's lots of nice things there for you to see and listen to. The problem is that for some reason, we're not quite entirely sure why, as of some point between show 257 and 258, all the other various platforms can't seem to read the RSS file anymore. Now this is odd because it's fine. You can read it. The show is there. The show exists. You can go on the RSS feed and go, oh look, there's a new episode, and click it and it goes to there. It plays. The episode exists in that regard. YouTube has been downloading it, or download it and uploading it. So if you go to the Last Minute Continue podcast channel, where you can find all sorts of things and all the episodes, all the stuff that you can't find on any of the other platforms because of copyright, all the other ones, you can actually get it. If you go to Deezer, of all places, they seem to be updating perfectly fine. But everywhere else, more specifically Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Amazon/Audible and even our friends at TerraPlayer, it for some reason isn't updating. Now, I've spoken to Spotify because they have actually people that you can talk to. Oh my god, support systems. And it turns out that for some reason Spotify wasn't being able to ingest the podcast into their system, and it wasn't seeing it. After some experimentation, we've discovered it's something to do with the way the security certificate on the website is working, which is the host changed to a new supplier of SSLs. Like I say, the things that give you the HTTPS that you kind of need nowadays as standard. And for some reason, it's blocking it. It's not trusted. It's one of the things that comes up when you check out the feed is that it's not a quote trusted source for Apple, but it is. So it's very confusing. When we changed the link for the Apple podcast to HTTP at the RSS feed address, it updated perfectly fine, and then all the album art disappeared from all the other episodes, or the individual album art, because it updated, refreshed, and it tried to find something for HTTPS for all the various other episodes, so it then defaulted to the series ones. Everything I've been working with Gardezio on this, and I've even consulted Resident SD for information on TerraPlayer, and it all seems a big mystery. So if you've been having problems, or it says that you've been like unsubscribed, I think somebody said they've been like unsubscribed from it or something, it might be because they don't think the feed's there anymore for whatever reason, and it is, but yeah, none of these platforms can seemingly read this thing that can be read. There's nothing that should be stopping it being read, and yet it is. So if you're having problems, if you're subscribed to this show on Apple, iTunes, whatever, or you're on one of the people who listen to it on Spotify, the ones that are still able to exist on there, this is the reason why the show isn't turning up. And we're working on it, and it's a big mystery. Like I say, Ezio is, let's just say he's very skilled in this kind of arena, without giving too much away on what he does for a living. And he's just baffled. He's just absolutely confused. Resident SD had a look at it, because it's not pulling into TerraPlayer, and it's not particularly clear. It's like, is the RSS feed valid? Yes, apart from two niggles, like oh no, the album art's a little bit bigger than is deemed to be preferred. Yeah, but that's still fine. And there's this other thing. We legitimately don't know what's happened. So stick with us. You can listen to the show on Last Minute Continue's website. YouTube was behaving and is now not, just to make things even more confusing. It's like it's uploaded all the other episodes and then sent me an email the other day complaining about crap. I could do without this, if I'm totally honest. As I said at the intro, guys, I'm a very busy man at present. Everything's come together at once. I've had a driving lesson today, which has been awful. I have a test tomorrow, so I'm going into that, and I have absolutely zero confidence in passing the thing now. I can't afford any more lessons. I can't afford any more tests. There's no time left for this thing. There really isn't. I've got to do this presentation for this thing on Tuesday, but the lesson's on Monday, and if I F up the blooming exam, then I'm going to be in all kinds of bad mental places. I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do So other stuff. I've been out of work for like 18 months now, guys. It's kind of I would quite like a job. That's okay. I'd quite like a job. It's very difficult to get a job at the moment, especially if you're somebody who's old, and I now classify as old. Very disappointing. I know. Speaking of something that's old, Sonic the Hedgehog. My God, that's old. It should probably be put down at some point. No, not really. But Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, yes. Very good. Is fun. Like playing with friends. Ticket allocation is terrible. But I will tell you a way how you can help with ticket allocation. While you wait for them to bring along a festival, which I can only assume is going to give you more tickets, because otherwise, dear God, the drought. Ugh. But before we get to that, time trials. Oh my God, time trials. So, if you have gotten to the point where you're going through the bits and pieces in order to try and platinum it, 1,000 point it, just get completion on it. And I'm not one of those people normally, but for some reason I just went, yes, I'm going to do that for this game. Time trials are just, misery. It's the fact that you have to A rank everything. It's like, oh, okay, the courses, okay, and then the CrossWorlds. And then you have to do the whole thing over again using supersonic speed mode. So you've got to A rank everything twice, and it's just no. It drags like crazy. It drags like absolutely crazy. What, like 78 A ranks you need, like 78 time. I was like that's too much. I guess we should be grateful when we don't have to start getting S ranks on things, although Lord knows they might add some later on because people complain. Oh, you know what we need? And more achievements. More achievements added because people have said that, it's too little of a challenge, says the 20 people that are racing at the very top of the thing and are complaining they're bored. Oh no, what a terrible shame. I don't know. It's like I say, it's too much. Something else that's a little bit too much is, have you ever played a game and then had to go, oh God, what are the neighbours thinking? Because that's Sonic CrossWorlds if you play as Rouge. Have you been? I know. People are not happy with the voice of Rouge, and if Christina V really desperately wants to be in the Sonic franchise now that Bryce is, I suggest the Veronica voice. Use that for Rouge. That's what I'm going to suggest, and get Christina in that way. We already have. I mean, Silver is just Cat Noir anyway, so incidentally, really like that voice for Silver. But Rouge, oh my God, Rouge on tricks, everybody. That's a phrase in and of itself, isn't it? But Rouge doing tricks. The phrasing gets worse. Rouge doing tricks and noises are ooh ah and then finish. If you've not got headphones in and you've got the volume up, ooh ah finish. It's a bad look. It's an even worse sound. What's worse is if you actually screw that up and then she sounds like a really disappointed girlfriend. It's like it's all coming to an end, folks. Finish. Get out. You have not satisfied me this day with your tumblings. Dear. I've actually been playing mostly as Cream, funnily enough. I know. I've just been really enjoying Cream. Also, Cream, when she like goes through boxes and that and just goes, "Hey!" is the most adorable thing. Not nearly as adorable as Sage's little giggle that she does when she's done a good trick and she's really pleased with herself. That is adorable. Just Sage, like absolutely she's enjoying herself. That's and not in the Rouge way. And not in the way that some of the animation looks if you rev the engine at the start when you're on the line with some characters. That's what I'm going to say. But yeah, Sage's little giggle, like it's like yes, adequate, yes, and just it's just sweet. It's sweet. We need Vanilla to just sort of be adoptive mother figure for Sage, so we can get awkward fanfic nonsense going on. Eggman has to play nice because Sage wants to hang out with Vanilla and just like make cakes and things with Cream, leading to an odd situation where you've got the two buddies and Sage is doing stuff, and Eggman's over one side just going yes, and Vector's over the other side going yes. It's like the two dads. It's like, yes, this is awkward. Not in the slightest. Anyway, before we head back into the past to Turbo and Ninten and myself from the previous week, talking more about the Nintendo Direct, which seemed ages ago now, but there's some topics that were at hand. How to get tickets. Now, tickets are, like I said, on a bit of a drought. It's not very good. There is a way you can start doing it, but it does mean lots of churning. So, if you go to the park, the race park, and you start going and defeating the rivals, if you go through one circuit, you get a reward, and then thereafter you get like the second circuit, and then you get the other reward of beating them twice. After that, you get tickets, which I think starts at about 20 when you beat a team. However, that amount goes up by 5 tickets every time you complete a cycle. And I'm not sure if or when it stops doing that. So if you go through and beat all the teams, and you're at, let's say, 20, the next time round it'll be 25, and then 30. I am currently going through where I'm getting 50 tickets for beating the rival team 3 times and dispensing them and going on to the next one. If that does continue up to, say, like maybe 100, suddenly the misery of having to spend how many times 500 tickets to get all the goddamn horns? How many amounts of tickets in order to get all the various, the aura effects, which is like 2,000 tickets a pop. And then all the tickets, then you then go into the friendship mode, which is, I mean, you have to really love a character to start wanting to put tickets into that. Let's be honest. Was it 7,000 or something stupid for the ultimate vanity tag thing? If you keep doing the cycles, I mean, it would be good if you're doing it with friends, but you can just keep going through. It doesn't matter. Tickets don't seem to matter. If you beat a rival maxed out, you'll get 5 tickets. If you beat a rival on level 1, you get 1 ticket. That's not worth the bother. Just keep doing, I've been doing, just keep doing the blimmin' stadium. Level 1, just go through everybody, just on supersonic speed with like quick matches, boop, 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 boop. Or the team matches. The team dash is quite good, because then it doesn't matter so much if you come in first or not. And that is the way you can start getting making a dent in making a dent in the many decals for all the tracks and courses, then the horns, then whatever, because if it keeps going up and up and up and up, hey, at least there's a way to do things. Summoning the Time Eater sound effect to go back to the past, and the discussion we were having about Nintendo Direct. Next up, allow me to put on my VR hat for a moment.
Oh no.
Past Kev with his not quite journalist but will fake it till he makes it or doesn't hat on. The big surprise was that Nintendo recreating the Virtual Boy and will support 14 games on Switch and Switch 2. That was one of the things that was good to see. They've done a physical recreation of the Virtual Boy, which is great to see. You can play all the classic games like Mario Tennis. Sorry, Mario's Tennis. It wasn't Mario Tennis. It was very specifically Mario's 'S Tennis. But 14 games is like another extension of the Switch Online Pass expansion pack nonsense. Nintendo Switch and Switch 2's Virtual Boy will be available on February the 17th, 2026. Now, there was a lot of debate as to why this is and why the price is what it is. And whilst I'm going to say that the cardboard version is still probably the price that should be, considering you all consented to buy lumps of cardboard off of Nintendo with the Switch.
Labo. Yeah.
Exactly, Labo. They were selling you lumps of cardboard. You really shouldn't be massively surprised by this.
I'm very sad that Nintendo Labo became a failed game development experiment, because it did have potential to teach kids how to make games and stuff like that, introducing them to the idea of creating their own robots, essentially. Does anyone remember B-bots in primary school?
What bots in primary school?
B-bots.
B-bots.
Yeah,
and his mate Rocksteady. Yes, I remember that very well. So the Virtual Boy cardboard model is going to be $24.99 in dollars. That is, or the equivalent in your local area. The Virtual Boy itself, the reproduction, is $99.99, which I think is about $69.99 if I remember rightly.
$66.99.
$66, close enough. It's not quite nice, but nice enough. I know nice people enough. Like that's far too expensive. In this instance, that's a collectible. If you're if I wouldn't even look at that as something you would use, I would look at that as something you get as a display piece as a video game fan.
Yeah, I originally was like, no one's gonna want to buy this at all for to be able to play these games and stuff like that. And it's kind of annoying that you have to have one of these things in order to play the Virtual Boy games on top of paying for that expansion pass to be able to have access to those things. But here's the thing.
There is 3 layers of payment going on here that you have to do.
It's true. Kind of yes. But... However, I've only kind of realized that it's not any easier trying to find the original hardware and all the games for them.
And some of those games are super rare and cost a bomb.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So really, in all honesty, if you want to experience this failure, this is the cheapest option you will get.
They didn't have to do this. No one was asking for them to do this.
I mean, hell, they have. I believe they have an exhibit for the Virtual Boy at their Nintendo Museum.
They're not shy about mentioning it. I will say they were very shy about saying they'd done anything to those games to, reduce the headache-inducingness of them.
I think to meet to today's standards, I think they have to do something in order to...
They might do so. It will be a case of a different screen with the Switch
or different lenses.
I like the fact that it is just you slip the Switch or the Switch 2 into that Virtual Boy. I actually like that. The fact that it is Nintendo just going, you know what, we will do some VR, and you've been joking about this, but screw it, watch us make lots of money off of it. I'm actually perfectly fine with that. Like I say, February 17th, 2026. The fact that you can play it's got the old style. The Virtual Boy itself was always a kind of unwieldy thing. And they've not changed it a bit. But if you care about it that much, but not care about enough to get the actual physical reproduction, like I said, the cardboard's there for a third of the price, and won't look nearly as good. But there you go. Pokemon Legends Z to A Mega Dimension.
Yes.
If that was wrestling, Turbo, I would say it looked overproduced.
I mean, granted,
totally
I mean, we had the Luchador Pikachu in the Pokken tournament.
Yes,
so,
this is true.
You know, we can't put it past them to be like this game being a wrestling organization that's overbooked their product, and they have overbooked their product immensely by announcing a DLC package before the game's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, DLC Mega Dimension, which stars Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y.
Yeah.
Along with Tiger Mask and various others.
And a very rainbow colored Malamar. I really like the rainbow colored Malamar. It's so happy star coded. I love it.
DLC
that'll be $40.
Yeah, mysterious distortions that have appeared in Lumiose City.
Yes.
That seem to connect to a space called Hyperspace Lumiose that may be caused by Hooper.
Yes.
Like
Hooper
that means anything to me. It might be caused by Hooper. What, hula hoops? What?
No, that is a Pokemon.
Hula hoops have a lot to answer for. Lot to answer for. They changed their barbecue flavor ingredients, and this is what happens. You get a break in the entire fabric of reality.
Yes, in Pokemon's universe of France, essentially. Where's
yes.
Ladybug and Cat Noir when we need them?
Probably elsewhere. But it's fun though that there is Pokemon France, there is Pokemon England, and there's Pokemon Scotland.
I mean,
Pokemon England and Scotland are pretty much the same thing. Apparently, they're all in the one game.
Yeah, but there is the fact there
though,
is specifically, there is a bit that's very much this is England, otherwise known as this is London, and then there's a bit which is this is Scotland, otherwise known as oh look hills.
Yeah, countryside.
Yeah,
Even though it's not like you see that in England either.
Not even that. Even in the basement of Galar, I think they've turned the UK upside down. I think at the bottom where you start, it feels a lot more Scotlandish, and in the first city, it looks very industrial based, and it looks like Glasgow. And then when you go further up, you get to Windon, which is essentially London.
No. Yeah. Nod.
It's almost like completely different to Londo.
Yeah,
in Power Stone.
Oh yeah. Yes, I remember that. Yes, Calrissian. Yes, famous Star Wars character. It's all very silly.
And there was even a wrong side of Glasgow in Pokemon.
Indeed. But actually, you get to, at some point on the YouTube channel coming up, it's probably the next thing that I will edit after I'm doing the current things, actually. But we will be able to see Turbo take on the realm of Scotland in Pokemon Shield, which does have Ninten cropping up in it occasionally, actually.
Yes.
In fact, we've got some very specific art of Turbo from that, which will be popping up on the things, and Ninten as well, as it happens.
Yeah.
Next up, I'll just keep doing this. Super Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition, plus meet up in Bella Bell Park, which is full of cheese, presumably. That's coming in spring 2026. As is Mario Tennis Fever, coming February 2026. No apostrophe S here.
Yes.
Feature 38 playable characters in IGN says here in brackets a series high. Where's all the article saying there's too many Mario characters? That's what I want to know. Team Mario Kart
I know.
has 38 playable. That is in seriousness. 38 playable characters. That's getting to the point of just unwieldy. Unless
Well,
you're
that's the thing,
Smash,
it's like-
it's unwieldy.
Well, this is the problem in Mario Kart as well. They just basically said like they tested with one of the kind of like NPC characters to be in a cart, and they go, oh, we could do that. Oh, that looks fun. Let's put all of our NPC characters in. Well, let's make all of our NPCs PCs. It's just like, and now that's been their mindset for put it in all their side games now outside of the platformers. It's
But
just,
you've
let's
forgotten.
have all...
You've forgotten the other thing that they're doing with all of their characters now. Which is, say, along with 38 playable characters, 30 fever rackets with special abilities, new, I think it's supposed to say slide moves here, it just says slid moves, which is... defense, and in quotation marks, defense-focused footwork, which I think means you leap over the net and kick your opponent in the face. But game modes like
John McEnroe then.
Yeah, game modes like Trial Towers mix it up, complete with wonder effects, it says here. Online modes like casual and ranked, a swing mode with motion controls, and presumably a jazz band, and more. This is where it is. There will even be an adventure mode that sees Mario and his friends getting turned into babies.
And Baby Waluigi has been confirmed.
Baby Waluigi has been confirmed. Well,
What a story narrative.
what a narrative. Mode. What a narrative this is. It's like we don't know what to do with this character. I know. Here's a really, really young version of them, or a baby version of them. That's all it is I can think of.
And get them to relearn how to play tennis.
Absolutely.
As babies. It's like, okay.
You know what's going to happen? At the start of that whatever happens to all those characters occurs, and Yoshi's going to have a freaking anxiety-related heart attack.
Yes.
Yoshi is just going to... Yoshi's going to be like in a corner clutching its chest.
The PTSD that Yoshi... all the Yoshis. It's
getting its...
the original Yoshi of the green Yoshi. All the Yoshis
all
have to deal with that.
Their therapist on speed dial. All of them. It's happening again! I can't do this again! They must defeat monsters to get back to normal and learn to play tennis along the way. Well, good for them. Good for them. So for those of you out there who really wanted a Zelda starring game in the Zelda franchise, other than whichever one it was, the Philips ones was. Well, don't worry, because we've got Hyrule Warriors is where you do that now, so it's fine.
Oh,
so
no, we have the
I know there's the other one.
Wisdom one. The Link's Awakening inspired one.
Yes.
Yes. I forgot the full time.
If you're still complaining about that, everybody still. Have you checked the franchise recently? Zelda as a playable character is a very big thing, but one of those ways that you can play as Zelda very, very frequently is Hyrule Warriors, which is getting a third game?
Yeah, because you've had Hyrule Warriors, Hyrule Warriors Age of Destruction or something?
Age of Calamity.
Age of Calamity, and now we've got Age of Imprisonment.
Yay! Yippee! More Zelda, more alternate timelines that'll ruin the timeline, and it'll drive Ezio insane. More insane than the Koroks. So.
Yes. Followed by Age of Consent will be the next one.
Oh God, no!
Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment will apparently...
Kev, you say that joke, but there is actually a storyline between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom that actually involves a Hyrulean man with a Zora child.
Christ.
Which is a bit...
Christ. And then it turns out the Zora child's like 300 years old, and it's actually the other way.
Zoras are basically have the elvish kind of like age, kind of like cycle. and whatnot. So, yeah.
Don't think about Disney's Atlantis too much, everybody. It gets a bit awkward.
Yeah.
There's... so apparently, Age of Imprisonment will unearth ancient truths only glimpsed in Tears of the Kingdom. And everyone's just like, fuck, there's another layer below the depths.
Yeah.
Bad news! You thought there was only 3 levels. There's actually a secret 4th one, which is the basement of the entire kingdom where we keep all the clutter.
I was gonna say, what are you talking about? I went through about 20,000 of other layers in Donkey Kong Bonanza, for crying out loud. It's like there's tons more.
Oh, but yes, coming this November. Will you be playing this one, Turbo?
Possibly. I have played through Age of Calamity myself. I mean, you played through.
I played through the original one as well. Actually, that's a good point. That's one of the few Switch games I've streamed.
I mean, technically, it is your turn. in that case, if we're going in that order.
But the problem is, I've still yet to play either Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, and I feel like unearthing the ancient truths only glimpsed in Tears of the Kingdom would really require me to do Tears of the Kingdom. And to do Tears of the Kingdom, it really would require me to do Breath of the Wild. So then I'd need to do Age of Calamity before I did that. I'd have to do 3 games before I got to that.
You know what? I think logic dictates we should get Ezio to play it.
Oh,
because he's the only one who hasn't played a Hyrule Warriors game. I believe.
Think I would actually be interested on his opinion on that. Actually, in all seriousness, I mean, I don't want to start going around.
No, of course not. No,
just
because
we
don't want him to do the whole
do anything else
aspect in a Hyrule Warriors game.
No.
But
as a general, but that that goes against his channel's thing, though, isn't it? It's
his mantra.
Anyway, Ancient Truths, only glimpse in Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, there's even more crap that they hid from you.
Yes.
And that's coming out November 6th, so it's relatively soon. Hades, I'll just rattle through the rest of these. Hades 2 coming out September 25th. So from
it's
our
already been
point
in
of
early access on PC for a while. A lot of people have been enjoying it on there. But with this version coming out on Switch 2, it's got to be the 1.0 release, so that'll be the finished product, effectively.
If you want a physical copy, you will have to wait until November 12th at the earliest. I say at the earliest legally. November 12th, you will have to wait for that. There was a
very specific date.
Yeah, Kirby's Air Riders amiibo are coming out, and you can swap the figures around with the car.
Reminds me of Skylanders in their car game. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true.
That's the perfect analogy.
I have 2 schools of thought on this. Number one, it's nice that they have designed it for that you can swap the figure and the car to just do different bits. So effectively, you have a 2-in-1. That said, they are also well aware in that doing that, collectors will then end up buying 2 of each. So that they can show on display both like variations that you can have. So they are active. Whilst they're being helpful, they're also actively hoping to double their income from this particular amiibo. But I'll be totally honest, Kirby's Air Riders, I just look at the game and just go, yeah, all right. It looks like a really crappy F-Zero.
It's probably as tough as an F-Zero, so yeah.
In other words, bring back F-Zero, Nintendo. I know Sega embarrassed you by making the best F-Zero by a country mile, but at the same time,
which they do feature in the expansion pass GameCube classics. It was one of their first titles, so they do recognize that.
The SNES one, the original one was our favourite from the times when I was able to play a SNES back in those days. But honestly, the fact that there's not been one since the Sega one, and the Sega one is just thought of just so highly.
The only other thing has been F-Zero 99, which I haven't really touched myself.
I don't even count that.
Yeah.
Turbo, Resident Evil Requiem.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Although I'm not gonna be playing it on Switch too.
No, I would
because I'm going for my platinums.
I was going to say there's a platinum trophy to get at some point.
Yeah, but for people who want to try the series and not want to like play it on like a high-end PC or whatever, and they have a Switch 2, then this is a good thing. Because the problem with the original Switch, they did cloud versions of several Resident Evil titles for that, particularly 7, 2, and 3. I think they did like 2 and 3 remakes, and I think they did a cloud version for Village as well for the Switch, and those require a decent kind of like internet connection in order to play those. These releases, being out of the new Requiem and the re-release of 7 and Village, are gonna be like native to the Switch 2. So it's no streaming malarkey this time around. You could just play it on the Switch 2. And I think with how Capcom likes to work with Nintendo, hopefully they would have them optimized well enough to be played on Switch 2.
And as a special benefit, just for Switch 2 owners only, if you get Village for Switch 2, Lady Dimitrescu will be exactly 1 inch taller.
And wearing Peach's dress.
And she'll be even taller, and her feet will be slightly bigger too. And you'll have a much better time. But,
artists are going to have a minefield with this.
but yeah, but that's going to come up on Turbo Drive Live at some point, no doubt, as soon as it's released. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing Turbo.
Oh yeah,
coming to
will be a platinum pursuit sometime soon, and then will be re-uploaded
in 2 years.
Onto the
2
LC.
years after the fact
for Turboween 2020.
I'm already filling up 2026's Turboween, so there we go. You mentioned Cloud. Well, that's a very nice link to the next game, actually. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Insert other words here to stick on the end. That's coming to Switch in January, January 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream.
Oh yeah, that's something I'm excited about.
Spring 2026. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, which has a slightly... Well, it is reimagined as more of like a diorama type deal. With an art style... Seeing Dragon Quest's like signature art style in CG looks so freaking weird.
This isn't the first time
I know
we've seen
it doesn't look right.
Akira Toriyama's design in a 3D point, and of course,
right.
I mean, I remember Blue Dragon. Does everyone remember Blue Dragon?
I do. I was making some minor edits to descriptions of Blue Dragon the other day, actually, on the website.
Yeah, because that's exactly the same thing.
And
it's just,
you know what
this is obviously much cleaner with the current technology.
The weird thing about the thing I couldn't stop thinking with Blue Dragon was, why is this starring Izzy from Digimon? And I couldn't get over that fact. Why is Blue Dragon featuring
It's hard
Izzy?
to right. Well, that's the same problem when I hear Kari in
anything,
small bunny in a 3D anime.
So we've got that, the Stardew Valley, which is coming out for Switch 2, Overcooked 2 as well, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. I don't know how they've got away with that. Human Fall Flat coming to Nintendo Switch as well. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, which looks very much like... Stylistically, it looks pretty much exactly like the Fire Emblem game. Actually, it looks exactly the same.
on a quick glance, yes, I can understand where you come from.
Yeah.
March 13th, 2020. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection with a K, naturally enough, is coming out October 30th digitally and December 12th physically. And if you don't like Hyrule Warriors, don't worry. Dynasty Warriors, or Dynasty Warriors if you really want it that way. Origins, that's coming to Switch 2 in January. Suika game, Planet. I say digitally looking towards Turbo at that point.
It's like,
I mean,
I've had my fair share.
sounds very cool. I want to get into it because I quite like my puzzle games. I like my Puyo Puyos. I like my Tetris. It looks very satisfying.
I mean, it's just a new interpretation of the game mechanic of, like, you know, combining fruits into to try to build a melon. It's just this time it's in a liquid sphere instead of a box. So
I see.
The liquid sphere. You opened it.
And it's caged.
Storm. What the hell is this one? Storm Lancers. It's 80s sci-fi anime inspired game. There's a whole heap of things I think they're just thrown together. Power Wash Simulator 2 is coming. Danganronpa 2x2. New version of Danganronpa 2 just for Switch. Mysterious Planet linked with a Y. Banner of the Spark. Dinkum. Just nice enough. EA Sports FC26 and a whole heap of other stuff like Little Nightmares 3, Persona 3 Reload, Lego Voyagers, Disgaea 7 Complete, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD-2D remake. Virtua 5 Revo World Stage, because we haven't shoved that game onto Switch and Switch 2 yet, so we might as well. 2 Point Museum, and last but not least, Turbo. You were delighted to hear that Fatal Frame 2 is getting yet another remake.
Okay.
Its second remake. Everybody, you know how I handed over to Ninten for Mario Galaxy? Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly, otherwise known as Project Zero 2. It's all yours, John. Go for it.
Yeah. So I only just realized, obviously, Kev just talked about the Dragon Quest one. Dragon Quest 7, obviously, that was a game that has been remade twice now. And this is the second game in this presentation that is also a game that has been remade twice now. So, and now here's for those of you who know, I'm a big fan of the obviously known as Project Zero series here in the UK and whatnot in the European continent, because it connects more closer to the Japanese original title, simply known as Zero. Now, this is an interesting thing, because in the UK presentation of the Direct, they left it as Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly. And so I'm going to assume that this is going to be, going forward, that the publisher... Well, Nintendo has the publishing rights to the series and whatnot. So they have now gone out of their way going, okay, let's just make it universal with the Western audience. Is like, let's just call the whole series Fatal Frame to save on confusion. So to do that, let's reintroduce the series with a remake of the second game again.
Because it came out first. The first remake was for the Wii, wasn't it?
Yes, which I've played, and it is archived on the Last Minute Continue website and the Last Minute Continue YouTube channel. Where that version, the Wii version, was only released in Japan and Europe. That was it. US never got it. Same as when the US didn't get a physical copy of Made in the Blackwater for the Wii U back in the day. So this being remade again, I can understand where Nintendo is coming from of wanting to reintroduce the series again, but why in the hell are you remaking the second game when the first game has never had a single remake? Heck, even the third game has never had a remake. why couldn't you just remake the whole trilogy? Why are you leaving the other two in purgatory hell? But the reason, obviously, the clear reason is that the publishing rights for both of those games are split between two separate publishing houses. The first game was under a now well defunct publishing line known as Wanadu. I know it's obviously in relation to Ava. I know, totally. It's stupid, but they're completely shut down. I believe they've completely shut their doors like years ago. So the publishing rights for the first game is completely out of the water, and nobody knows what to do with that. And then the third game was published by in Europe anyway, was published by Take-Two Interactive. So obviously it's under the Rockstar.
Just generally
banner.
boo. Take-Two.
Yeah. So yeah, this series is obviously, those series are terrible kind of like positions and whatnot. The second game, however, I believe, with the original release, it was done by Tecmo themselves, which is the team. Like I believe it was a team within Tecmo that developed it. So with the second game, they had confidence to produce it or like publish it themselves under their name. So Tecmo had the rights for that. When Nintendo bought the rights for the Fatal Frame line to have it exclusive on the Nintendo platforms from the fourth one on, which was Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, that was on the original Wii. They just kept it there, whatnot, until they remade it and then made it multi-platform or whatever with new deals and stuff like that. Now it's just a case of like Fatal Frame 2. Apparently a lot of people like Fatal Frame 2 a lot. I've seen a lot of kind of like people's opinions on the series and whatnot, and a lot of people love the second game. Me, on the other hand, I don't like the second game.
What was the one that really got you angry?
Made in the Black War.
Made in the Black Wars was the one that really got
because it completely screwed
It's
over.
It's one of the few times where I've actually been watching the video, because it's the Lunar one we haven't got out yet, I think. But it's one of the few times when I've been editing those videos and I've just been like wincing through. I'm like the US Office memes, like.
You're grimacing. Yes.
It's one of the angriest I've ever seen Turbo get is that game.
Just to pull the veil a little bit, I do play up a little bit on it. Okay, so it's not like I'm legitimately that pissed,
still
but
very angry.
But I was still angry. Yes. But not.
That's my problem, Cap. I'm always angry.
The overall reaction I was having. The overall reaction I was having in that series for Made in the Black Water during that one bit.
I mean, it is a complete betrayal of everything that they've done with the characters.
And I just handed up to the nth degree of my genuine kind of like disappointment on it, because again that was utilizing the original protagonist in the original game and completely derailing their story, their character, with that entry, Made in the Black War, which was the fifth entry at the time, after all the stuff that was dealt with her in the third game was brought up, because it was led to interpretation or whatever, and of course the developers and the screenwriters wanted to go in a certain other direction that I could completely do not agree with. So, but of course, Fatal Frame 2 again, it is connected to that trilogy in some way. It has family ties to the original protagonist in the first game, and then onwards into the third game and whatnot. So they all are connected. But I just cannot understand why Nintendo just can't buy or find the rights for the first game and remake the first game.
It's one of those times where it's just like, okay, we want to release, Fatal Frame, 2. Okay, doesn't it benefit you to have Fatal Frame 1 out? Doesn't it benefit you to reach out to that other studio and go, hey, let's make a deal where we we work on these two together with like this. Okay, this is your game. So you get lead billing in terms of the studio, and when it comes to the other way round, we get the lead billing, and then you actually have, even though you've got this split licensing problem, that you can actually work together and make more money that way.
Well, the problem is that this series has the same problem as what Metroid has. So we're all going full circle with this here. Is that Fatal Frame as a franchise has not made that much money in the grand scheme of things. It is a very, 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 very niche horror series. It's not in the same caliber as a Resident Evil. It's not in the same caliber as a Dead Space or whatever. It's not in that same caliber because it's obviously a different gameplay mechanic.
Isn't part of that, though, due to the fact that it is all over the place?
Yeah, but the core concept is you're taking pictures of ghosts. That's the main concept. But many players are not happy with that concept.
I'm gonna
play it.
I'm gonna say, everybody, that if you go and do that, Fatal Frame Reframed as a trilogy grouping is right there for you.
True. Yes.
I
mean, granted, that was the whole concept. That was the whole idea when it was branded as Fatal Frame in the US, because obviously it's a camera, you're taking pictures.
It makes sense.
Frames.
If you're going to go one or the other, it's
title, Fatal Frame. Brilliant. Let's make money.
Yeah. If you're going to go in one direction, it's one of those rare occasions where actually the other title works better.
Yes, true. I mean, granted, even though I've been a hardcore stickler and embracing the Project Zero name because it was more tied to the original title.
Yeah, it's got the history of that.
But from a marketing ploy, yes, Fatal Frame.
You know exactly
is
what it is from that, as opposed to Project Zero, which is kind of generic sounding, if we're totally honest.
True, it is. But the thing is that I feel as though like you said, a trilogy remake, reframed, whatnot. I would have accepted that if that was the case with how we got Another Code Recollections a year or two ago, where they just remade the first two games and put them as a collection, as one kind of like two halves of a story in the same game, whatever. And that could have been the same case with Fatal Frame if they did the first and the second game. Even though what was it? The events of the second game. I think it takes place after the first, the events of the first game, or before. I can't remember. But you could have done the same thing as what you did with Another Code Recollections.
And it wasn't like with that. It wasn't like they didn't for that have to go and do a little bit of negotiating because of rights.
No, because it was owned by Nintendo anyway.
But there was still a little bit behind the scenes that they had to do.
Well, the only thing that they had to do was just try to get
everyone played nice.
Yeah.
Go play nice, make money, everybody.
Well, businessmen are ruthless. After all, Kev. They're they just don't start playing ruthless in the background.
Will you be playing?
Begrudgingly, yes. Because I want to know how they remake this one. Because obviously the remake that they did for the Wii was based off of the engine in the fourth game for the Wii back in the day. So now that obviously things have changed. Obviously this looks completely different to how that Wii version was done. So I
hope we get the equivalent of a Resident Evil 4R.
Possibly.
I hope we get
I feel as though that's what the
jump of that. I hope.
I feel as though that's probably the reasoning why this is being remade again, because they saw the success of Resident Evil 2 and 3 and 4 from Capcom, and they've obviously sold gangbusters and whatnot. And then the dev teams at Tecmo Koei just said, "Hey, we saw these guys doing this. Can we do this for our horror franchise?
Please?"
It's like,
could
please?
Is it possible we could?
Please, Uncle Nintendo, can we do this for your console?
My uncle from Nintendo, would you please? I know I don't want new games. I want you to help promote our game. Okay. No.
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 Have you tried photographing your uncle from Nintendo with the camera obscura? Terrifying things may occur.
Indeed.
Camera Obscura Illusions in Edinburgh.
Yes, absolutely. There is indeed a place in Edinburgh. Go and see it.
Yes, I've not seen it yet.
Well, even more reason to go because you've not seen it yet. But just be aware, there might be a whole bunch of ghosts being chased by some Japanese schoolgirls in there.
I mean, we already have Silent Hill F, which is another similar kind of like aspect.
God.
So yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, there's that. Like there's a whole bunch of other stuff. If Earth was here, I'm sure we'd be hearing a lot about the Danganronpa game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But-
2x2 or 2 times 2.
Yes, God. I love the fact, by the way, that I did give that little list earlier of like the other titles. Persona 3 Reload again, and much like Virtua Fighter 5, we haven't shoved all the Persona games on yet.
Yes.
Crank
It'll
out,
take time.
squeeze every last dollar, yen, and pound out of it.
That's what every company does. Make sure
but
that they can squeeze every single penny to get.
But really, that in particular is like really, it's like anybody that has ever wanted to play that game will have played it by now. You're not.
Well, it's the
You
same
are
with the Resident
trying
Evil
to
series as well,
convince
so-
people. You're just trying to get like duplicate sales off. You're not increasing your actual audience in any way, shape, or form.
Well, we keep forgetting that the Switch 2 is a handheld, both a handheld and a home console hybrid. So many people are obviously, many business people are seeing this as an opportunity to get to have like another version of the game sold on a handheld rather than like on home console
be a fun
releases. Of course, the argument is that obviously you've got the Steam Deck, but not many people are owning Steam Decks, to kind of like take on the go half of the time. Because they are quite expensive and they are kind of cumbersome to hold. Because I've held many before, and it's like I just don't like the size, whatnot. Whilst the Switch is a bit obviously more lighter,
Yes.
and whatnot. Yeah, it's underpowered, yes, as well. But that's where we had the Switch 2 because that's a bit more
Indeed.
stronger, and it boasts 120 hertz, 120 frames per second in handheld for certain games. So it's like, okay, so it has that kind of like appeal for developers and publishers to try to buy a second copy of the game, so that way we can have it as a game that's being played on the go on a quote unquote cheap device.
Oh boy. And that is all we have time for tonight. Thank you very much to Past Ninten and Past Turbo for joining Past Me. I'm now off to try and fix many things and do a lot of work while in a lot of pain. Up next on Radio Sega, it's Rexy with Sega Mix Drive. I'll be back very soon. Bye for now.